Angel-6942 calling in. Angel-6942 calling in. Angel-6942 calling in. The date in human years is the 5th of February 2021. Now, something happened to my transmission last week and I got cut off. Not that I would know if you've received any of my reports because you've never replied to any of them. I mean, I'm beginning to understand how it feels like to be a human because they spend ages trying to talk to you and they're never sure if anybody's there. I mean, it's a bit like calling the GP. The human host is now getting a bit more restless because he sees that the vaccine is being rolled out and that the level of infection of the virus is levelling off, if not dropping, because of the lockdown. So he wants to go out to shops and have a drink at the pub. Now, it seems like these places are the new places of worship for the humans, as that's where they all head off to on the boss's sacred day. But the good news is that they've stopped blaming the boss for everything because they're busy blaming each other. Now, to engage the humans, it looks like they need something to see and touch in the real world and not just look at words and pictures and give money and hope to receive some reward at the end. I mean, I think that's why humans, especially in the UK, find shopping so popular. Saying that, a lot of the shops in the UK are now shutting down because nobody can go out to shop at them or buy things and they're losing business. But apparently a lot of them are being taken over by online shopping companies. Now, an online shopping company is where the humans sit at their oblong machines and look at words and pictures and give money and hope to get a reward at the end. But to tell the truth, I think the online shopping companies get a bit better hit rate than we do. Now, to be popular on Earth, it seems like you need an interesting backstory. The humans love to worship somebody that comes from adversity. And they have these television programs where people humiliate themselves ritually to gain fame and fortune. And they're called talent shows. And the people that do best at these talent shows are people that come from a very, very sad background. Now, I know JC has a very interesting story to tell, but I think they've done films and books about that already. But nobody knows much about the boss. So I think we could talk about having the boss having to banish a loved one because of a failed relationship and losing a son. I mean, that could be a good story. There is a programme called The Voice, which I think would be very apt. But then maybe when the judges turn around to look at the boss, they might burn out their eyes and melt. I mean, that would cause a riot. Now, riots are a very popular thing now on the earth because they've had a few in the past week. Now, in a country called Russia, there is a leader called Putin. Now, I believe that he's named after the Canadian national dish that consists of chips, gravy and cheese. Anyway, Mr. Putin arrested his rival because he was poisoned by a pair of underpants. And I believe that in Russia it's illegal to have dirty underwear. Now, a lot of people in Russia were not happy and there were riots in many cities and they were out waving their toilet brushes. And I think this is to signify that the rival wasn't poisoned by a pair of underpants, but by a dirty toilet seat. Also, in another country called Myanmar, there was a coup. Now, a coup is where soldiers throw out the government and take over. Now, a lot of the countries around the world were very unhappy and outraged by this and complained. But I'm not sure if the people from Myanmar were very, very bothered because as the trucks rolled in, there was a lady who was smiling and dancing. Now, the host had been watching a lot of programs about the leader of Myanmar, and she is called the lady. Not our lady, but the lady, another lady. Now, I'm very impressed by her because she was arrested by the then government and she was put in a house and she was not allowed out and not allowed to see anybody, which is a bit like lockdown now. But eventually she was allowed out and she became the leader of Myanmar. But before that, she was a bodyguard and she was very, very good at sword fighting, and she was so nimble that she was able to jump from roof to roof while fighting. And she was so good at this that she helped a British secret agent called James Bond to beat a bad man on a boat. She was really impressive. I don't know why she doesn't fight her way out. Anyway, also, there's been another riot in a place called Handworth, and they say it's in the UK. They had this meeting on the oblong machines again, and I think it was called Zoom. Now, there was a man there called Brian who wanted to be called Clark, but there was a lady called Jackie who was already called Clark. And there was an argument, and Brian kept shouting at her, "Will you listen? Will you shut up? Will you listen?" So Jackie chucked Brian out, and she was looking for somebody to be called chairman. Now, there was a man called Aled who was not happy that Brian was chucked out, and he said that he was called chairman as well as being called Brian, as well as wanting to be called Clark. And Aled said that there should be nobody else called chairman, because Aled should be chairman because he was vice chairman. And he told Jackie to read the rules, read and understand the rules, or something like that. And it got very loud, and Brian and Aled and some other guy who swore all got chucked out. Now, I understand that Handworth is supposed to be in the UK, but I think it might be a different country, because although they were speaking English, I couldn't understand the word they were saying. Also, before I go, I really do need to ask a question, because I don't know why this host was chosen. I mean, he doesn't seem to believe in the boss, and he doesn't seem to have much faith, and he's not one of the usual type of followers we have. And I know, technically speaking, the host needs to be a virgin, but is a virgin someone that's never had sex, or someone that's never had sex with a woman?